Hey guys, Dave from Timber Time Outdoors. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk accessories for the Kubota. In fact, these accessories would work for any compact tractor. We're going to talk about my favorite top 7. Let's go.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
All right guys, as you can see, we are stuck in the garage here. We're not in the timber today. Super cold outside, negative 20 degree wind chills, and it's just frightfully cold out there. So we're going to do an inside video. We're going to talk about accessories for the Kubota. We're going to talk about my top 7. I've done most of these to the Kubota, and we'll kind of show a video of that as we go here. I got one that I haven't done yet, and it's just because I can't make a decision on what I want to do. Would love to get your comments and feedback on that one. We'll do that one last. So we're going to kind of start with the most basic and kind of work our way up to the more complex as we go through these. So here's number 1. Okay, this first one has to do with storage on a tractor. As you guys know, there's like zero storage. Kubota provides a toolbox. I don't even know if you can call it a toolbox. I call it a pencil box. They provide that. It goes on the ROPS or just, below the ROPS. And that's the first thing that I replaced because it's completely worthless. I think I had a pencil box like that when I was in first grade, and that's about all it's good for. So I replaced that, and you can see here, it's just your basic toolbox from a big box store. Nothing fancy. I think I paid $10 for this thing, maybe 15. I don't remember exactly, but it's much more useful. There are a lot of different storage ideas out there. I'm not going to get into those too much, but the first accessory that I replaced, was that toolbox, just because, I don't know, Kubota just does a terrible job with these on any tractor. Our bigger MX 5800 has a crappy one on it too. So replace that toolbox. So that's number 1. Okay, number 2 is a pretty basic one. There's a few different versions of this thing out there. It's called a steering wheel knob, and what it allows you to do is basically do one-hand turning. On the steering wheel, it's just a knob that kind of rotates. If you've never used one of these, they are awesome, and they work really good in reverse. So if you got your head turned, it just makes turning very, very easy. Also, if you're doing some planting or you're doing some plowing or just moving fast, you got to make a quick 180-degree turn. They're just ideal for that. I like this one. I bought it from Kubota. I think I actually got it from Messick's. So if you're looking at Kubota tractors, you know who Messick's are. Neil Messick is probably the most watched tractor guy on YouTube. And actually their store is phenomenal. It's better than Amazon, or just as good. So if you need parts for your Kubota, look up Messick's. Great. I mean, I've got several parts on it already from Messick's. But steering wheel knob is a must-have, super cheap. I don't know, are they $15 at the most? Maybe 20. I don't even know if they're that much. But a bunch of different versions out there. Look on Amazon. Maybe I'll link the one that I bought here in the description. But steering wheel knob, awesome. All right, the third accessory is a side step. So the B2601 isn't a super tall tractor. If you get a BX tractor, you certainly don't need a side step. They're very low to the ground, lawn tractor height. Not a lot of ground clearance on those, but anything above that, it gets to be, depending on how tall you are, it gets to be a little weird stepping up in these tractors. And some of them come with a side step and some don't. I believe the LX tractor comes with the side step that I actually bought for this one, and it fits on there perfectly. So you can see this here, it's a simple 4 bolts. I got this from Messick's as well. I'll link that part number here. It's super easy to put on, and I think it was like $35. Don't quote me on that. I know there are some more expensive ones online, but why wouldn't you buy this one? It's factory, it works great. And do I use that side step every time? No. Sometimes I just jump up on the tractor, but because the BX2601 is kind of that in-between height where you can jump up there if you want to, which is why they don't supply it. But there are times, where it's nice to have. It's safer and just easier on your back. So I really like this one, $35. Get a side step for your tractor. Okay, fourth accessory is a bucket level indicator. If you don't know what that is, you need to find out because it is critical to have on your tractor. It's absolutely a must-have. And the reason for that is, so many times you can't see very well on the tractor. If you've never driven a tractor before, it's not like a skid steer where you're looking down and you can see your bucket, and it's super easy to make sure that that bucket's level. On a compact tractor, you got the hood that sticks out, and out in front of that is the bucket, and you really can't see how level it is, and so you need some kind of indicator to tell you that it is level. Now, there are a bunch of different versions of this out there. Most of them don't work very well. The one that came with this tractor is a sticker. That's awful. It's just terrible. So what I did is I called my dealer and said, hey, can we buy a bucket level indicator for this tractor? And they actually don't make one for this tractor, which I think is kind of weird. But there is one that you can buy all the different parts for it and put it on here. And I think it's maybe the L series tractor. I'm not sure exactly which tractor it's for, but it does fit on here. I did have to make one modification. The attachment at the one end of the rod, the hole that's there, if you use that hole, it doesn't quite, for this particular tractor, it doesn't quite work. When it says it's level, it's not level. So I had to actually drill a hole and then made it work. But bucket level indicator is super, super helpful. If you're plowing snow or grabbing snow with it, you want to make sure that you're not digging into your driveway or your gravel. If you're, just about anything that you're doing with that loader, you want to make sure it's level. Whether you got a grapple, whether you got a plow, whether you've got a, just the bucket on there, it's super helpful. So this kit, my dealer actually provided it for me. It was something that they threw into the deal, so I don't know how much it cost. I'm sure not very expensive, certainly under $100 for all these parts, and it was pretty easy to put on. So bucket level indicator, number 4, absolutely must have. Okay, number 5. I threw this one in here. This is not necessarily a must have for everybody. If you're gonna use your tractor bucket to remove snow, kind of go the cheap Charlie way like I did. So, getting, a blower on the front or a plow on the front is certainly gonna work a lot better than this. But I bought what's called an edge tamer, at least that's a brand. I actually bought some knockoff ones that were a heck of a lot cheaper on Amazon. I'll link those here. But they're basically just kind of a bolt-on little skid plate that goes on the bucket, and it basically helps you, if you're on gravel or if you're on grass and you're trying to remove snow, it just keeps you from digging in and doing some damage. What I like about it is it leaves about this much snow, and then you can pack it down, and after a while, you can just scrape off the snow. But these edge tamers, they weren't super expensive, maybe $100, $80, something like that. I know if you buy the edge tamer brand, they're more, and I don't know if they work better. They might. The ones I bought seem to work fine for what I'm doing. I actually don't like the edge tamers on pavement, so I like to get a little closer down to the ground. So what I do is when I'm doing the paved part of my driveway, I'll take the edge tamers off, do that part, and then just quickly bolt on the edge tamers. I know some of them you have to use a ratchet to tighten them. This one's got little knobs, and it's a little sketchy. Sometimes they don't get super tight, but yeah, they work great on the gravel and the grass, in my wood yard, for snow removal. So again, edge tamers, not for everybody, but if you're going to use your bucket to remove snow, definitely recommend those. They work quite well. Okay, accessory number 6, definitely got to have something in this category for your tractor. So lights. If you're going to do any kind of work at night, whether it's planting food plots at night, whether it's snow removal, anything in the winter, right? You don't have any daylight, so you got to have some lights. The lights that come on a Kubota, they're incandescent for one thing, and then the loader and the bucket block the lights, so they're pretty worthless. And what most people do, and what I did, if you have a open station like this one, you basically attach some kind of light or light bar up on the ROPS. And what I did is I actually did 4 individual lights. The 2 that shoot forward are much brighter. They're both a spotlight and a floodlight. And then the ones that I shot backwards, just because I didn't want to have to, I didn't need to see super far back, those are just floodlights. You can configure these lights however you want. There's a lot of them on Amazon or online. Basically, why there's so many is I think like the off-roaders, for UTVs and Jeeps, they use these things like crazy. And so you have a million different choices out there. You can do one great big light bar. You can do individual lights like I did. Lots of choices out there. And prices range quite a bit too. So you got to kind of shop around and see what you want to do there. But I can link some of the stuff that I did. I think these are from Nylite, and they sell the wire harnesses. And it was a bigger project than I thought it would be. It took me quite a while to wire it up, and I'm kind of anal, so I wanted to make sure all the wiring was, looked factory, and I shrink wrapped everything, zip tied, and make sure it was protected really well. So it turned out really good. You can see it works quite well here. Anyway, super helpful lights, especially for snow removal in the winter, and whatever work you might be doing with the tractor in the dark. I know sometimes, doing food plots, it gets pretty late in the evening, and it's nice to have those lights to keep putting that seed in the ground. So highly recommend some sort of light system for your tractor. Now, if you have a cab model, you probably don't need them because I think they come with them. At least most cab models do. So, but if you got open station, take on that project. It's not difficult, but is time consuming. All right, number 7. This is the accessory that I haven't done yet, and it's just because I can't really make a decision on what I want to do. If you have a grapple, or you're going to get a grapple, which I'm going to do a future video on a grapple. I actually did one a couple years ago on our bigger tractor with a grapple. Grapples are super, super helpful on a tractor. And if you plan to get a grapple, one thing that you're going to want to get is a grill guard. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, the grill guard that comes on the Kubota or any tractor, they don't really work very well because I think they need to, put it on there and make sure the headlights work. Well, they don't block any kind of sticks or anything. And so the first time you use your grapple and you drive into a brush pile, one of those sticks is going to go flying right through the grill and possibly damage your radiator. And so there's lots of videos on this. Most people, they take off the existing grill guard and they weld on some, metal mesh, and then they get out the rattle can and they paint it on. It looks okay. It functions fine. I just, these are expensive tractors, the new ones anyways, and I want to do it a little nicer. And so there's some companies out there that actually make better looking grill guards. They don't function any better, but they're bolt-on, so I don't have a welder. I guess I could go to a welder and get it done, but that's kind of what I'm debating is, I'll show you some images here. Should I spend the money? They're quite expensive if you buy one of these pre-made grill guards. Should I do that, or should I just do what everybody else does and get the mesh and call it a day? It's one of those things where I can't seem to make a decision. I've been waiting for my grapple too, by the way, so future video coming on the grapple here. Really nice grapple. Well, we'll save that for the next one, but back to the grill guard. So anyway, a grill guard is a must-have if you use a grapple. If you don't use a grapple, you probably don't need it. I do think some of them look nice, but you got to kind of think through that and how you want to do it. So yeah, that's number 7, grill guard. All right, that's my top 7 tractor accessories, compact tractor accessories. Hope you learned something there. Put those on your wish list. Let's wrap this video up. It's getting a little long, so thanks for watching, guys. Please hit that like button if you learned something or if you're entertained by this in any way. Helps out the channel quite a bit. Share it with your friends if they are buying a tractor. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. So guys, thanks for watching. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the timber. Bye-bye.